move this over here. Okay. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get through the whole post before I start screaming about it. We're gonna try something here, all right? Am I the asshole for not going to brother's wedding after my family ruined my relationship? Hey everyone, me, 22 female, and my boyfriend, 25 male, have been together for 2 years now. We are both still in university getting our masters for different areas of medicine. We met on campus. He's tall, he's good looking, thoughtful, smart, and hardworking. I think most people would even say he's out of my league. He has never made any bad comments about me or my family and has even learned Russian to speak to them in their native language. Despite his efforts, my parents and brother are still being absolute a-holes to him for no reason. They ignored him, talk behind his back, never invite him to anything, show no interest in learning anything about him or his family, and just completely reject him in every way. My brother, 27 male, is the worst in all of this, even though he himself doesn't have nearly the same level of academic achievements or physical appearance. I'm glad you don't think your brother's hot. This brings me joy. My boyfriend said that the feelings of not being accepted and having to walk on eggshells around my family and the tension this creates between us has made him reconsider our relationship. Last week, my brother got married, and of course, my boyfriend wasn't invited, so I decided not to go as long as he wasn't invited. They decided not to invite him, so I didn't go, and now they are furious at me for doing so. AITA for not going. Fuck. No. Again, and we'll get to the edit. I saw some people asking for the reasons why my parents might feel resentful towards my boyfriend. I think my parents see it as more of a cultural problem. I'm originally Eastern European and he's from Western Europe, so we are both white. They would just rather see me with someone from the exact same background. Political and religious assumptions also might play a role. So, we've been over this time and time again, chat. We see so many posts like this. You're never an asshole for not going to a wedding. You're never an asshole for not going to a wedding you've told your family you're not going to. It's different, I think, if you just don't show up, because then there's a financial thing there, and that gets complicated. I think that if you're straight up like, hey, here's the thing, if this happens, I'm not going. And then they do the thing, and then you don't go, you don't get to go, what? What? I didn't know you were gonna show up. Like, yeah, you told them. You told them. And, like, I'm sorry, like, he's not from the same cultural background as us is not a good enough excuse to hate him. I'm sorry. Like, that's where we're at. It never has been. I understand that for a long time this was a, like, societally accepted reason not to like like your child's partner, but it's never been good enough. It's just dumb. Let's see what the comments say. Not the asshole. Your family seems pretty toxic. My boyfriend said that the feeling of not being accepted and having to walk on eggshells around my family and the tension this creates between us has made him reconsider our relationship. Sorry to hear that. It may be time to go non-contact or at least low contact with your family. It's likely to happen again if this doesn't work out and you go out with someone else they don't like. That's true. Like, even if this doesn't work out with this guy, which would be a shame, because, I mean, the way you make him sound great. He learned Russian to speak to your family. Even if this doesn't work out, this starts the cycle that dictates that your family gets to decide who you date carte blanche. And that if they don't like them, they are not, your relationship is not going to work, and they will push that until your relationship doesn't work. It's absolutely toxic. It's absolutely something you should run straight away from. I mean, there's always also the thing that Reddit always jumps to just never talk to them again. Um, which is the nuclear option. Like, there's so many steps you can take in between that. And this is a start. This is a start, not only setting the boundary of being like, if my boyfriend isn't allowed at your wedding, then I'm also not going. And then following through with that is super important. I think that's a really good start. But the first step is just keep setting those boundaries. Keep setting those boundaries and keep to your word. Force them to respect those boundaries. And if they don't, then you start talking about going low contact, no contact. Not the asshole. Actions have consequences. Your family knows this. I wonder why they dislike your boyfriend so much, but if he's good to you, then maybe take a step back from your family and focus on the relationship outside your family. Your relationship with your boyfriend, of course, but also other friendships. Build your support network and strengthen your bond. Yeah. Yeah, this must have been before the edit. I think that's fair. Definitely work on having support outside your family, because your family's ass. I'm sorry your family's ass, but they're ass. Not the asshole, in fact, good on you. Don't let your family ruin a good relationship with what sounds like a lovely man. Why is your family so against this guy? I think my parents see it as more of a cultural problem. I'm originally Eastern European. Dump your family. Go be with your boyfriend. NTA. Such a common story. Parents immigrate to a new place and get shocked when their children integrate into their surrounding instead of only living in their parents' small cultural enclave. OP, you're not the asshole, but you're also not alone in this experience. Yeah, that's 100% fair. I do think that's interesting. I think it's interesting to, especially, like, I guess they don't outright say, I'm guessing that they're in Western Europe or the United States. But I guess I don't even want to make conjecture about where they're from, or the fact that they moved. Now that I'm thinking about it, because she doesn't say any of these things. I don't know. That part seems kind of conjecturish to me. My gut says not the asshole, but I gotta get more info. Like, has there been something that provoked your family? If it was just one person, I wouldn't bat an eye. But if the whole family, something had to have happened. Do you have any idea? But based on what you shared, you're in the right. I don't know. One family member xenophobic and or racist. Fine, not the asshole. The whole family xenophobic and racist? I don't know. Maybe they're onto something. I don't think that was the poster's intent, but weird thing to say. Because, like, even before the edit, the first thing I thought was, oh, the boyfriend's a different nationality. Alright, I think that's about all I have to say on that one. Not the asshole. Case dismissed. Let's move on. Sorry about that, chat. I'm back. Let's move on to the next one. Am I the asshole for demanding my husband allow our daughter to go on a graduation trip and prioritize her friends over visiting his family and paying for the trip against his wishes? Background info. My husband is named Brad. Mistake number one. OP. Valerie is our daughter, who is in 8th grade, and Denise is Brad's sister. Main story. Valerie's school hosts a New York trip for graduating 8th grade. It's in late June, but the deadline to register for the trip and pay fees is in 2 weeks. The problem is the date conflicts with the out-of-state trip we take every 2 years to visit Denise and Brad's parents. Brad's are... Brad's argument is that Valerie's at an age where friendship she has now will most likely fade by the time she's an adult, and Denise and her grandparents are family, so she's going to regret it and realize that he's insisting now is the right choice. The thing is that Valerie isn't particularly close with Denise or her grandparents on Brad's side, and she told me that she doesn't want to visit her family on Brad's side if it means missing her graduation trip and this year and the graduation trip this year and won't be the same if she went to New York as an adult. I argued my side with Brad and that Valerie will simply resent the trip to Brad's family if it means missing her graduation trip, as well as that we're all in good health and can reasonably expect that everyone will still be here when we visit again in 2 years. I don't know why I can't read today. Brad is insisting that Valerie will realize when she's older that spending time with her family is the right choice and will be thankful for it when she's an adult. Me and Brad are still on opposing sides, and I have told him that I'm going to sign off on Valerie's graduation trip and pay the fees out of my own savings, regardless of what he says. Am I in the wrong for putting my foot down and making sure our daughter gets to go on this trip against Brad's wishes? Valerie has already missed so many experiences and didn't even get a 5th grade graduation because of COVID. She worked so hard this year to improve her grades and be allowed on this trip, and I feel we need to make up for those lost events as much as possible. So easily not the asshole. So easily not the asshole that it feels like fake, right? Because not the situation. Not that the situation's ludicrous. It seems something like a Brad stance is the one I could see a dumb person having, right? Absolutely anyone named Brad could have this stance for sure, no doubt. So here's the thing. Your daughter gets to graduate 8th grade once. And I know, because I see because the dude's named Brad, he's unable to sympathize with any other human being. Also, I'm sorry if your name's Brad. I'm gonna do this a lot, and I already apologize for it. Obviously, Brad can't sympathize with another human being. So to him, he's like, 8th grade, and me as an adult man, don't see the 8th grade graduation as a big deal. And like, sure, as an adult, it's not a big deal. Even as a high schooler, by the time you're in freshman year, you're like, wow, 8th grade, I don't know why I made such a big deal about 8th grade graduation. But when you're an 11 or 12-year-old in 8th grade, it's kind of a big fucking deal. And like, we didn't get to go, I know my school, we didn't get to go on any trip for 8th grade graduation. I think we had like a pool party at the local pool. But that's a huge trip, and it means a lot to her. It clearly means a lot to her, and like, who cares? You're right, she's not gonna have her friends from 8th grade into like her adult life, but she's got a long time before that. And like, even if she doesn't have those same friends, which she's probably not, you're right, but even if she doesn't, she's still gonna have memories of going to New York on her 8th grade graduation, and that's still gonna mean a lot to her. Like, I know this is like a once-in-a-lifetime event that you'll, like, probably remember forever, and, will only happen once, and since you're a child in 8th grade, it's a huge deal for you to be there, but, you have to go see your Mima. Mima wants to see you. And I want you to see Mima. It does not matter how you feel, by the way. Or my stupid wife. I get to make the decisions because I'm the man. I'm Brad. Fucking ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Let's check Reddit comments. Not the asshole. Valerie deserves to go on the trip. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience that she's going to treasure forever. So what if she won't remain friends with her current friend group? Thank you. They're still part of her story, and she's always going to remember, have the memories with them. Thank you. If you pull her off this trip, then that's going to just drive a wedge before she even gets to college. Your in-laws aren't going anywhere, and your daughter barely has a bond with them due to the distance. Plus, this is a semi-annual trip, and like you said, she'll see them again in 2 years when you guys go. Your daughter is aging, and she's going to start making her own decisions soon. Your husband won't be able to control her for that much longer. Does he really want to drive a wedge in their relationship by prohibiting her from going? And that's the other thing, because I don't think this guy cares whether he has, like, a real relationship with his daughters. He apparently sees them as property. He's got this very, like, generic Brad, my daughters, I own them like my wife kind of attitude. It seems from the post. So I don't think he cares about that. But what it is doing is making her resent the trip. And you think she's like, you think she doesn't want to go now? What about when she's 14? What about when she's 16? I don't think you understand that you're about to have a full-blown real teenager. And now you've driven this idea into her head that going to see her family is a punishment for, like, defying you and having ambitions outside of doing what you want. So you think she doesn't want to go now? Just wait. Just wait. And that's not fair. It's not fair to her, and it's certainly not fair to, like, her grandparents, who have no say in this, apparently, as we've seen. They have no say in this, and you're just kind of, like, deciding that they would want to force her to miss this trip. Ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. Not the asshole. Going to New York as a kid is way different from going as an adult. Everything will seem so big, new, and special for her, and she'll make memories for when she's an adult so she can go back and feel nostalgic. And just because she's young doesn't mean she'll lose friends. I still have friends from the 4th grade that I talk to daily. Sudden Highway, no shade. I mean this with nothing but love. You're fucking weird. You're an outlier, and you should know that. I don't think many people do this. I don't think many people talk to their friends from elementary school. At least not daily. Like, I still have people I talk to that I knew in elementary school, but certainly not daily. Certainly not, like, weekly. I'll talk to them maybe, like, once a year, be like, hey, how you been? I'm good. How about you? Oh, I'm pretty good. And then that's it. Talking to them daily, you freak me the fuck out, Sudden Highway. Also good for you. I'm happy you have very strong bonds and friendships that lasted your entire life. I'm assuming that the I am before they're, like, 16. I'm assuming that effort is made by Brad's family to visit you on the off year. I mean, if family is so important, but only seen biannually, something doesn't add up. It's important that your daughter makes memories and builds confidence going out into the world. Send her to New York, and no, not the asshole. Why can't they reschedule the trip? They're the adults. It shouldn't be hard to do. I don't think that's wrong. I mean, that gets complicated. I get that because, like, you know, as an adult, you have work, you know, you have to schedule around that, and, like, I assume it's like I'm making the assumption it's like a big trip, because it's like the beginning of summer, but still, this poster is 100% right. Just reschedule the trip. It's not that big of a deal. Or, crazy thought, you've arbitrarily decided that it's every 2 years. What if you just don't go this year and go next year? And then, hear me out here. Hear me out. I'm going fucking buck wild. You could go next year and then 2 years after that. And then it's biannual again. It's like nothing ever happened, except your daughter doesn't hate you forever. Crazy ideas! It's almost like this isn't that big of an issue. Or, again, buck wild, she could just not go this once. Also, okay, this I just thought of. So she's in 8th grade, right? And it's biannual, which means that you'll also force her to go when she's in 10th grade, and also force her to go when she's in 12th grade. Now, do you think for a literal goddamn second that you're going to make her also miss senior graduation? Because you're out of your mind, dude. You're out of your mind if you think that. Or you literally just don't think your children are people that deserve to have experiences. Either way, I'm done with this post. Easy answer, not the asshole. We're moving right along.